plucking hairs from certain areas of my body with tweezers. When I'm not going like this, sometimes I will, you know, it's really weird, this trichotillomania shit. Is sometimes it'll feel like there's a follicle that's actually in pain. Like, I've had that, and it's like, it kind of feels like an ingrown hair would, but there's still a hair there. So I'll take a tweezer and I'll try to find it. Usually it has a dark root, and I'll pluck it. And sometimes I feel instantly better. Sometimes blood comes out of it, and I'm like, you were doing something to my head. And this is usually when I end up losing half of my eyelashes, is when I feel one that's painful on my eyelash, and I'm trying to get it. I'm pulling out every other one except that one. Reitanna, why can't you be normal? Hobbyaholic. This is actually kind of problemsome. It makes me really stressed. Is I will constantly do things. I won't stop. I'll be like, if I don't have to go somewhere, but I want to go somewhere, I won't, because it's a waste of my time, because I want to get this, and this done. I consider eating and sleeping a waste of time, because I want to get this, and this done, and I'm just constantly going and going and going, unless I'm off my medication and I fall. When I come down, then it's just collapse, do nothing, until it builds up, freak out, and completely lose it. When I'm manic depressive, obviously, I get things done really quickly, and then all of a sudden, I will move my attention to something else completely different, and then I'll just be like, oh, look at that shiny thing! You know? We're going on to obsessions. Learning about things that others do but wouldn't attempt myself, i.e. Serial killing, cannibalism, vampirism, objectophilia, etc. I don't know, it's, not that I can't say I find it unnatural, because that's unfair, because I bet a lot of people would think the things that I do are unnatural. I'm just interested in the psychology behind it, what makes people tick. You know, I know how I tick, but how do these people tick that have these other things that I don't do? Especially serial killers. I love studying about them. It's not that I definitely don't idolize them, even though, you know, all of us, I'm sure, have had homicidal thoughts, but it's those of us who are sane enough to not act upon them. It's studying serial killers to find out why. But you have to realize that you can answer when, where, what, who, and how, but a lot of times you can't answer why. So, like, watching an interview of Jeffrey Dahmer, he's one of the only ones that I really respect, because he's the only one who showed remorse, believe it or not. He was completely out of his mind. He practiced things that were just like, cannibalism, necrophilia, I don't know if practice necrophilia, but he showed remorse, he apologized, and in the interview that I watched of him, you know, the interviewer said, why did you do all this? And Jeffrey goes, I don't know. You know, he said specifically, it's, my parents had nothing to do with it. This was all on me. It wasn't because I was raised wrong. It wasn't because I was tormented as a kid. I just did it. You know, and he'd always had a fascination with anatomy, like dissecting already dead animals. I'm pretty sure he didn't kill the animals himself. At least he didn't mention that. But, you know, he was a completely normal, honest person watching that interview. And it's so interesting that a lot of serial killers can be deemed sane. But what is their motive, you know? Anyway, another obsession is horrifying things, blood, death, ghosts, etc., paranormal stuff that just terrifies me, just the stuff that terrifies other people. And it's not to the, you know, as excessive, like, obsession with death. It's not like, I want you to die, and I want you to die, and in my normal state, I want myself to die. You know, it's more like, you know, what happens after death? What, you know, all these things that cause death. How did this happen? How did that happen? Is completely from a scientific point of view. My belief in ghosts has diminished significantly, so I'm constantly trying to find proof that they exist. I'm trying to find all these things, and especially, I get really disappointed when I try to find a ghost video or an alien video on YouTube that isn't scary. I'm just like, I would like to be scared, please. I want to jump out of my fucking socks. I want to scream so bloody murder that it freaks my rats out. Well, I don't want to freak my rats out, but you get the point. When something isn't scary, and, I read the comments, and they're like, oh my god, I won't be able to sleep at night. Or, oh my god, I feel so scared of this and this and this now. And I'm just like, pussies. I'm just like, I have seen way worse stuff than that. Seriously, you're fucking scared of that? I will be able to sleep soundly tonight. I can laugh at that. Honestly, I'm just like, my nightmares, 10 times worse than some of the things that people are afraid of. That horror lovers, horror-philias, such as myself, laugh at. Like, I know for those of you who love horror stuff can agree with me that some people overreact. Male-on-male relationships. Of course, I do like Yuri, which is female relationships. But I can never find enough couples to put together. So there's always yaoi, which is male-on-male. Yeah, obsession, and it's just like no matter what, it's just more. I can't say it's more appealing because I still like girl-on-girl action, but it's just like if I see two really, really, really attractive guys like in the same room, I go, make out. Of course I'm thinking it, but it's just like boys in love. It's guy love between two guys. And when I say I love you, Turk, it's not what it implies. Okay, anyway. Beauty, makeup, hair, facial complexion on the side. I have always been obsessed with beauty because of my image. Because I've always felt like I'm not a pretty person. And my therapist helped me figure out why. It's because I look exactly like my mother. I literally look exactly like my mother. Like, if you take a picture of my mom at 3, take a picture of me at 3, you can't tell the difference. Take a picture of me at 10, take a picture of her at 10, you can't tell the difference. We even had the same broken arm at 1 year old. 1 year old, as a baby, as a child, as a little itty bitty chubby person. So, I don't know how she broke her arm. I know how I broke my arm. My dad, accidentally dropped me on grass. So it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was. Of course I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure it's the one that keeps popping when I turn it. I'm always obsessed with being beautiful, with doing everything that I can. I do so much to my face in the shower, it's crazy. I will put on like 2 different scrubs, 3 different cleansers, toner, acetone, stuff for the bags under my eyes, moisturizer, baking soda. I'll put lemon juice. I'll constantly pick at imperfections, and I'm just like finding things about myself that I hate, that I want to rectify, and I'm just like, why am I so hideous? And it's always just trying and trying and trying to get myself to look better. Right now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Mike doesn't know about this, but I am kind of starving myself right now because I am not happy with my weight. I have limited to myself. On the weekends, I'm only allowed to eat junk food on the weekends, such as candy, chips, all that other stuff. Obviously, I don't binge, but if I have the craving, I will eat it. So it's basically free reign on Saturday and Sunday. The weekdays, I'm starving right now. I have to tell you, I am starving right now, but I'm not going to eat. I don't need it. I will eat 1 small meal when I wake up in the morning, not right away, when I start feeling more hungry. Today I had soup. It's light and it's somewhat filling. And then later at night, I'll go as long as I possibly can. If I'm working, I'll eat when I come home. If I'm not, I'll wait as much as I possibly can and eat when I can't take it anymore. So I'm trying to limit myself to 2 meals a day, and somewhere in between there, a small snack, like maybe a granola bar or something. I have Slim Fast shakes, I could possibly substitute that for one of my meals, actually. But honestly, I have been so afraid to check my weight for the past couple of months. I'm so scared to figure out how much I weigh. I'm just not happy with it, and I've starved myself twice in my lifetime, and I said that I'd never do it again, and I'm going to be completely honest right now, I don't care. I don't want to be fat anymore. I want to be as skinny as I was in high school. I look at old pictures of myself and I go, I used to fit into those pants. And I still have pants. I have pants that I fit into like half a year ago and I don't fit in anymore. And I'm just like, how did this happen to me? What did I do? It's just, I am meh. More obsessions, dreams. I like to analyze my dreams. A lot of times my dreams will tell me to do something that I do, that I decide to do in real life. For instance, change my lip ring, which I did. It used to be silver. I'm obsessed with currency collecting, but that's not an unhealthy obsession. I'm obsessed with fashion, but not like brand names. I could care less about fucking Gucci. Just anything that looks cute, and I don't care if it comes from a thrift store even, you know? This came from, Steinmart. I fucking love Steinmart. You know, if it looks cute, then hells yeah! I'm obsessed with sweets. That's one of my big problems, and that's why I limit myself for the weekends. Is just, if it's sweet, I just want it. I want it so bad. But Slim Fast makes these really good chocolate mint bars, and I'm just like, I limit myself to only one when I have the craving, but I've also been trying to substitute my sweet cravings with fruit. It's very difficult. It just doesn't satisfy you the same, but it's... And I do still drink chocolate milk. That's my one thing. That and soda, but I never drink more than one soda in one day, and I'll go a couple days without drinking the soda, and I know, I don't want to hear it. I know they say soda will make you fat, blah, 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 but I don't drink it often, and I'm like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, just less. Stuffed animals. I have over 50 stuffed animals in this house alone, and tons more in my grandmother's attic. They're strewn all over the floor. And I sleep with a stuffed animal every single night, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, because part of the loss of my childhood, I need to sleep with a stuffed animal. And I found out that I do not let go of the stuffed animal unless, for whatever reason, I end up throwing it across the room in my sleep. This morning I woke up and my stuffed pug is at the end of my bed, and I'm like, how'd that get there? But oftentimes I'll fall asleep with hugging a stuffed animal, I'll wake up hugging with a stuffed animal. So sometimes I will move around enough to where it drops, and that's when I cling to a pillow. It's been known to happen. And I end up buying more and more and more, and I just don't need them, but they're so fuzzy and cute, and they keep me company. And I also do buy toys. Hoarding stuff that could possibly be used for crafts. I have a lot of junk in my cupboards that I eventually intend to turn into something else. But right now it's just garbage. Gum. See that bowl? That is all gum. Knowing about psychological disorders, I'd like to go into other psychological disorders and compare them to each other and stuff. Wanting Erin to die. Erin is the name of the woman who gave birth to me. You would call my mother, but she doesn't deserve the title of mother. So for the rest of the video, she's going to be Erin. That's her name. So whenever I refer to Erin, it's the unfortunate flesh and blood I carry in my body. And I'm obsessed with the behavior of Anatir. Even when I'm stable, I try and analyze. When I'm stable, I can analyze myself when I'm not. So I'll be able to analyze myself and give a lot of that to Anatir. And it just fascinates me to make this character so corrupted, trying to find every single thing about the quote-unquote other me. I don't have multiple personality disorder, but quote-unquote, for lack of a better word, the me that isn't really me. I'm just obsessed with putting that all, balling it into a character. It's a way of me coming to terms with it, sort of. So, and I can also refer to quote-unquote Anatir as, you know, that. Phobias! Death, duh. I may be obsessed with it, but I don't want to die. Unless Anatir says that I do. Anatir. I'm afraid of Anatir, which is the other me. I'm afraid of spiders, duh. A lot of these aren't abnormal. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of becoming vain, because so many people have called me vain. I don't know where they get that idea, okay? I am trying to build confidence. My therapist is trying to help me build confidence. Every time I say something that, you know, that I genuinely think, my therapist goes, stop that. And Mike does it too. Mike goes, stop talking like that. I have to try and not let this get to me, because I've had people call me vain who don't know anything about me. I'm also afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of rapists and molesters, obviously. That's a normal fear. But even when I'm taking the short walk from work to home, I'm thinking, what would happen if I was taken right now? And I'm just so afraid of it. I'm afraid of police, and the reason is, well, I'll get more into it, but the reason is because they never believed me. And I'll get into that later. I'm afraid of Aaron. I'm afraid of bees, hornets, wasps, flying ants. I might be allergic to bees. I don't know. I've never gotten stung, but I'm still afraid of them. I'm afraid of fire and volcanoes. I have a lot of nightmares about volcanoes. I don't know where this came from. The feeling of wetness on my hands. That was the whole rubber glove thing. Humiliation. A lot of people are really afraid of humiliation. Sleeping with the door open. This is one of my weird ones. Ever since I was little, I cannot sleep with the door open, the bedroom door. If I'm sleeping in the living room, if the bathroom door is fine, that's okay. But if I'm in a bedroom, I cannot sleep with the door open. The reason is, I don't know where this comes from. And logically, I know, in reality, this probably doesn't happen. It's probable, or I mean, it's possible, but it's not probable, that somebody is going to come into my room with a knife, specifically with a knife, and specifically stab me in the stomach. That is my fear. And I've even had this happen where I sit up in the middle of the night and I look around and it looks like the door's open and I go, is the door open? And I freak out, but I go back to sleep and the door's still closed. I freak out when the door's open. I don't know why. I'm just like, Reitanna, why are you so abnormal? Sharp things near my throat. I will get into that later. Brian, the manager that bullies me and the reason why I had to go on disability leave and be put into therapy. Big bodies of water. I don't know where this comes from either. I'm afraid of the ocean. I'm afraid of, well, pools aren't really that frightening to me. I'm afraid of like large lakes. I'm afraid of rivers. I'm genuinely kind of afraid of water. But obviously, you know, taking showers, bathing, and rain. I love rain. How do I love rain? I just hate big bodies of water. Because one of my other fears is drowning. Another fear is getting dirty or messy, having stuff on my hands. Friends dying. You have no idea how many times I think about, oh my god, what if Senpai died? Or oh my god, what if Mike died? And I'm just like, I'll dwell on it so much that I'm just like, oh my god, what would I do? What would I do? I'm afraid of needles. I'm afraid of losing my hair because I love my hair. You know, I love having hair. I love hair. I love styling hair. I love being able to see what it can do. And if I lost it, obviously if I lost it, then I would have to resort to wearing wigs. I do like wigs. I love wigs. But I still like my hair. This color is the result of removing the black so that I can allow my hair to grow out a little, with it looking a little better. I don't know. I kind of like it right now. So gaining weight, kind of already covered that. Being hit. The reason is because, well, that gets in the whole physical abuse thing. If somebody raises a utensil or their hand too quickly, I'll flinch. And even as a child, my dad's side of the family noticed it when I was visiting them for a year. And they were like, and they didn't know. They didn't know what mom was doing. So they, you know, and they told me this when I was 19. They told me this later. They didn't tell me when I was 9. It was 10 years later they told me this. And I had no idea that I did that. So I started paying attention to it. And there have been times when my friends have, you know, done that, and it freaked me out. Like, just raised their hand to even pretend to hit me, and I know that they would never hit me, but it freaks me out. And especially if it's a spoon. Especially if it's a wooden spoon. We'll get into that later. Things most people are afraid of that I'm not: dead bodies and entrails. I don't know what I would do if I saw them in real life, but I kind of feel like I wouldn't, I can't say I wouldn't care, but I wouldn't be grossed out or freaked out. I don't know how I'd feel, actually. But seeing them in movies, there are only certain times in movies where I can't deal with certain bloody things. For instance, cutting off of fingers, hands, feet, and throat. Those are the things I can't handle. Oh, and taking out eyeballs. Can't handle those. Everything else is fine. Pulling intestines out? That's fine. I don't know if this counts, but I don't lose my appetite when talking about or watching something disgusting. If somebody's talking about a tapeworm while I'm eating dinner, I will engage in the conversation just fine. Yeah, tapeworms do this. It comes from the love of science in my world. And, Senpai does it too. We both will have a scientific conversation while, nonchalantly saying, we're talking about worms while eating spaghetti. Why not? So, reptiles. I love animals and I love reptiles. I think snakes and lizards are adorable. Rats and mice. Worms! Earthworms. I used to pick them up in big, great balls and go up to other girls and just be like, look, and they're like, oh my god, worms! And I'm just like, they're not exactly cute, but they're not, disgusting. They're very beneficial to our world. And they just kind of feel weird when they crawl in your hands. I like snails too. It's just holding them and then, putting them back in the dirt. And when I see one that ended up dying and drying on the sidewalk, I'm just like, poor worm. Dogs after being attacked by one. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if you can see this scar on my lip. When I was 3 years old, I got attacked by a pit bull. I remember it pretty clearly, actually. I have short-term memory loss, but not long-term memory loss. This pit bull, there was 2 pit bulls, and this was my fault. I decided to ride him like a pony. So, obviously, he threw me off, pinned me to the ground, and bit my face. I was crying, I was bawling, I was bleeding. I didn't have to have stitches, but I was bleeding, I was freaked out. You know what? An hour later, I was sitting on the floor rubbing the dog's belly. And I said, I'm sorry, because I know I annoyed it. Pit bulls are my #1 favorite dog. I've grown up with them. I love them. They are just beautiful. They're sweet. They have such a bad reputation. And I'm just like, it was my fault. If I get bit by an animal, I'm not going to be afraid of it. Do you know how many times I've gotten bit by a hamster because I accidentally freaked it out, or it was freaked out, or it thought I was food? It's my fault. Creepy dolls. I don't understand why people are like, oh my god, that doll is so creepy. I won't be able to sleep in this room because it's a doll! The end of the world. It's something that I don't constantly dwell on. That I go, well, the world is going to end sometime. When it's actually ending, I don't know how I'll feel, but as of now, I feel like if the world's going to end, I'm going to do every single fucking thing that I've never been able to do. So, but that's only for sure if the world is ending. Horror movie and scary game content. Obviously, I was really scared to play Slender, and I was really scared to play Containment Breach, but afterwards, I love it. Silent Hill, love it. I love getting scared. I love being able to freak out. Fatal Frame is one that I kind of get too startled to actually hold the controller, so I forget which buttons are what, but I love watching other people play games like that. I just downright love watching people playing video games. Like, I'll watch Mike play Dead Space or, Assassin's Creed and such, even though I can play them myself. I wonder if I could play Fatal Frame without freaking out that much now that I'm a little older. But I love it. If that stuff was happening to me in real life, I'd probably be in a corner crying to death. But when it's something that I know for a fact that isn't real, I love it. The dark. I could sleep in a room with absolutely no windows and no light. It's fine. I don't care. I'd be a little annoyed that I couldn't see if I ended up being trapped in a dark room and I'm trying to feel my way around, but I'm not scared of it. Thunder and lightning. I've never been afraid of thunder and lightning. Actually, kind of, if I don't have to go outside, I feel like it's really peaceful. But sometimes if, one time at beauty school, we saw lightning, and it was kind of purplish, and we just stood out there when we were supposed to be in class, just watching it, and I just love it. Another thing scientific. Dark tunnels, caves, haunted houses, etc. Because I've never seen anything in there. I want to go to a haunted house so bad. I want to go to a place that is just really famously haunted so that I can see whether stuff is real. If I came across it, I don't know how I'd react. Ghosts. I don't know, because I've never seen one. I've heard some stuff, and I had some weird thing happen where my glass on my nightstand just suddenly broke by itself, and I've had my TV turn on and off by itself, but I've never actually seen an apparition. Never. Ever. So I can't tell myself if they're real or not. I'm not afraid of aliens, and I'm not afraid of zombies. I'm not afraid of zombies because I know zombies don't exist. So now that it's been an hour, we are getting into the more serious part of the video. I'm going to list off some secrets that I have. I'm gonna try not to get into them, ranting like. Remember, I'm being completely honest. Please don't judge me. I lost my virginity at 14. By my choice. I wore the fabric gloves. Obviously, I went over that already. I still wear rubber gloves. I already said that. When I came out as bisexual, and it was the most terrifying thing of my life. And the reason why is because I grew up homophobic. Thanks, Mom. I mean, Aaron. Running away. I used to run away when my brother babysat me, but he never found out. He'd be watching like TV, and I'd be playing in the backyard when actually I would climb over my fence and take this certain trail around. You know, just taking a little trail. I was like 4 or 5. Never found out. Never caught me. Sometimes I'd go out in my pretty pink Power Rangers uniform. Oh, this is one that I just remembered like a couple months ago. Used to severely pick at my skin. This was dermatillomania to a next level. Like, I wouldn't even have anything that needed picking. I just used to just keep going at it and peeling off the first couple of layers of my skin. I do it in class. I just constantly. I don't know why I did it, and I don't know why I stopped. But I used to also have fantasies about sex between certain characters, even as a very young child. I would have, I'd make up characters in my head. Even as a young child, I would make up stories. And I would pair characters together and make a love story and fantasize about the sex they would have. Obviously, it would be because they loved each other and such, is the same fantasy about sex I have nowadays. So, obviously, no, the sex I fantasize about now is very... But, you know, and it's always between characters. It's never me with somebody or some character. It's always character that I've either created or have been created, such as Zim and Dib, or Goku and Vegeta, or Light and L, you know, the whole shebang. I won an essay contest, but I refused to go to the top because I was scared. I wrote an essay. We were required to write these essays, and we also would be narrowed down to the best essays, up and up and up until they like the top 3 would go to this like big competition somewhere, and my essay was written about ghosts because I thoroughly believed in them back then. I didn't think it would be so good. I didn't think it wasn't that good to me. I thought I don't even remember what half the things I said about it. And obviously it was a research paper too. It got so good that me and 2 other people were at the top. I said no, because I didn't even want to be on the top in the first place. I was scared. I was scared that people were going to, like, you know, attack me, obviously. I carved "I want to die" inside my closet. I don't know if it's been discovered yet. I have a hate for children. Don't get me wrong, okay? If I see a child, I'm not going to be like, I hate that child. You know, there are children who are cute. I'll wave at children, you know, when I'm in the store or whatever, or if there's a baby staring at me, I'll be like, hi. You know, I hate sort of being around them. It's kind of like, you know, natural child behavior. You know, things that I probably did when I was a kid. It's just, I'm afraid of the annoyance. I hate the annoyance, I guess, and I feel like a goddamn cold-hearted person, but the only reason I hate children is because when I lived with Ariel, her sister is a monster. I am fucking serious. Living with that family and experiencing this monster child made me not to ever want children. I don't want children. I used to just fantasize about, you know, having a little baby girl and being able to, do clothes and hair and beauty stuff and just having this little girl. And then I would also fantasize about having this little boy and teaching him how to wrestle and stuff, you know, and just be like, little boy, and just be like, if you want to play with dolls, you can play with dolls. Little girl, if you want to play with cars, you can play with cars. I don't fucking care. Go wear a dress if you want to, Maxwell. But then I lived with Ariel and saw her little sister. Her little sister is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Was an absolute fun, happy-go-lucky baby. Then she started to talk. And I don't want to blame anybody. That's going to stay inside my head. Sorry, but I don't want you to